So do you also want to generate podcast scripts in seconds? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to generate podcast scripts using an AI agent. So like you, I also used to manually write all the podcast scripts, but this is such a time consuming and a tedious task. So to solve this problem, I have simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the podcast ideas into my Google Sheets, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the script for the same podcast, which further I'm just going to add in my Google Doc and back again into my Google Sheets. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, Google Docs and Google Sheets. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen, everyone. So in this video, I'll show you how to use an AI agent to automatically generate podcast script from simple topic inputs or outlines. So whether you are a solo creator or managing a content team, this workflow helps you to produce well-structured, engaging scripts in fraction of time. Perfect for interviews, educational series, or storytelling formats. So let's dive in and see how to turn your ideas into ready-to-record podcast content using AI. So yes, I'm just going to show you the proper working of this automation first. So let's say I'm just going to enter the episode title, the guest name, the keywords, and then automatically within seconds and in real time, automatically the podcast script will be generated and added right over here. And as you can see, the script has been generated. So I'm just going to show you the script right over here. I'm just going to open this, and over here you can see that within seconds and in real time the script has been generated and added right over here. And now further my team can review the script and make the final changes. So yes, you can see that within seconds and in real time the podcast script was generated and added right over here in my spreadsheet. So yes, this is no magic. This is the power of automation which we're going to learn in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation, then for that you have to watch this tutorial till the end. So to do this, I'm simply going to open a new tab and I'm just going to look for the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. And after opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, we are just going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here, I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And once I'm just going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. And over here, you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account. And once I'm just going to click on this access now, it is going to open my dashboard. And to get started, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here on my dashboard, you can see multiple folders which I have already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these only, which is automations. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as this: generate podcast scripts using an AI agent. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And once I'm just going to click on this create, automatically it is going to open the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and action are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and that's the particular reason that we have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, I'm simply going to select my trigger application as Google Sheets. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets and select it right over here. And now for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is has given me a webhook URL. So we're just going to use the same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. So what I'm just going to do is I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL. I'm just going to open my spreadsheet. From here, we have to go towards this extensions, add-ons, and then towards this get add-ons. And after coming over here towards this get add-ons, we have to add an extension in this spreadsheet, which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'm simply going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here. And as you can see that I have already installed this extension. But if you haven't installed this, you can simply open it right from here and you're going to get the option of install right over here. So you can install this extension right from here. And after installing this extension, you have to refresh your spreadsheet. So it is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet. Otherwise, you will not be able to view the Pabbly Connect webhooks option right over here in your extensions tab. And after getting this Pabbly Connects option, we have to go towards this Pabbly Connect webhooks and then towards this initial setup. And after coming over here towards this initial setup, it is asking me for the webhook URL and the trigger column. So we are simply going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And now for the trigger column, I'm simply going to enter my trigger column, which is C right over here. So the trigger column will be a final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. And the trigger column will be according to your spreadsheet. If you want to send 3 details, it will be C. If you want to send 2 details, it will be B. If you want to send a single detail, it will be A. Alright, so you have to enter the trigger column according to your own spreadsheet. And after entering this, I'm just going to click on this blue button which says submit. And once I'm just going to click on this submit, it is saying setup configured successfully. So with this, we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connects workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So to do this test submission, I'm just going to open my spreadsheet. I'm just going to go towards this extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks, and over here you're going to see the button of send on event. So I'm simply going to switch on this button, which is this send on event. And once I'm just going to switch on this button, what is going to happen is that whenever a new event is going to occur in the spreadsheet, automatically the details will be sent towards the webhook URL. So yes, now after doing this, I'm ready to do the test submission. So for that, I'm just going to enter the episode title, the guest name, and the key topics. And once I'm just going to enter all of these details have been sent towards my workflow. So I'm just going to open my workflow, and yes, over here you can see that Pabbly has captured the response for the same. Alright, and now I'm just going to generate the script using these details only. With this, we have successfully completed our trigger step, and now I'm just going to generate podcast scripts using an AI agent. For that, I'm just going to select my action application as my AI agent, which is OpenAI. So I'm just going to look for OpenAI and select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as ChatGPT and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account, you can go towards this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. So I'm simply going to go towards my OpenAI API key page to get the API key. Now after coming over here towards this page, I'm simply going to go towards this create new secret key. I'm just going to enter my key name. Then I'm just going to select the project and click on this create secret key button. And now my key has been created. So I'm simply going to copy this key, and then we're just going to paste this key right over here in our workflow. And after pasting this key, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save. And once I'm just going to click on this save, with this we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connects workflow. And now it is asking me to select the AI model. So I'm simply going to select the AI model as GPT-4. You can select any another of your choice. And now it is asking me to enter the prompt. So I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here. So as you can see that I've successfully entered my prompt, and now in this prompt I'm just going to enter the episode title, guest name, and key topics so that it can generate the script based on the same. But we are not going to enter it manually or by copy pasting it, but instead we are just going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of a trigger application only. And as soon as we are just going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So I'm simply going to map this guest name right over here, and then I'm just going to map the key topics. So one by one, I've successfully mapped all of these details, and I'm just going to click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And once I'm just going to click on this save and send test request, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me a script which is the podcast script based on the details which I've entered right over here. So you just have to wait for a few seconds till my AI agent is generating me a full podcast podcast script. And yes, over here you are just going to wait for a few seconds and we are just going to receive the response for the same. And yes, you can see that the script has been generated. Over here, we have received the response. Over here, you can see that this is the script which my AI agent has generated. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed this step. And now what is going to happen is that I'm just going to add this AI generated script into a Google document. And then further, we are just going to add that Google document back again into our Google Sheets. So what I'm just going to do is I'm simply going to add another action step. Now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Docs. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as create a blank document, because first I'm just going to create a blank document and then I'm just going to add the script in that blank document. So over here I'm just going to click on this connect. Once again it is asking me for the same. So if you have already connected your Google Docs account, you can simply click on this, select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now you have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And once I'm just going to click on this sign in with Google, Pabbly is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Docs. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here, and after selecting my Gmail account, Pabbly is asking me for some permission. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. And with this, we have successfully connected our Google Docs account with our Pabbly Connects workflow. And now it is asking me for the document name. So over here, I'm just going to simply map the document name, which I want to be the podcast title, which is the episode title, and then script at last. So I'm simply going to enter the document name right over here. And after entering this document name, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save and send as request. And once I'm just going to do this, with this we have successfully created a blank document. And now I'm just going to add the AI generated script in this blank document. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. Once again, I'm just going to select it as Google Docs, which is the action application. But this time for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as append a paragraph to a document. Click on this connect. I've recently connected my Google Docs, so I'm simply going to click on this select existing connection and then save. And now over here I'm just going to select the document over here in which I'm just going to add the text, but we are not going to select it as manually, but instead we are just going to map it. So I'm just going to switch on this mapping button. I'm just going to raise this document ID and I'm just going to map this document ID from the response of my previous step. So I'm just going to look for the document ID and map it right over here. And once I'm just going to map it, this field has turned dynamic, and now I'm just going to insert the text in this document, which is the content generated from my AI agent. And then I'm just going to click on this save and send test request. And now we have received the positive response that we have successfully added this text in this document. And now I'm just going to move on further, and I'm just going to add this document link into my spreadsheet. So to add this link into my spreadsheet, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to first make this document a shareable one. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. Now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Drive. So I'm just going to first make the document a shareable one. For that, I'm just going to use Google Drive. For the action event, I'm just going to select it as share a file with anyone and click on this connect. Once again, it is asking me for the same. So if you haven't connected your Google Drive, you can go to it, says add a new connection, sign in with Google, select your Gmail account, give Pabbly the permissions, and your account will be connected. I've already connected my Google Drive, so I'm simply going to go to it, this select existing connection and then save. And with this, we have successfully connected our Google Drive account. And now I'm just going to select the file ID. So I'm not going to select it. I'm just going to map it, switch on this mapping button, and I'm just going to map this document ID, which I want to make the shareable one. And after mapping this document ID, we successfully have made this field as dynamic too. And I'm just going to click on the save and send test request. And now I'm just going to receive the response where we have received this web view link. And I'm just going to add this same web view link right over here in my spreadsheet. So to add this web view link into my spreadsheet, I'm just going to add another action step. For the action application, I'm just going to select it as Google Sheets. And this time for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as update a cell value. And then I'm just going to click on this connect. Once again, I've already connected my Google Sheets. So I'm simply going to click on this select existing connection and then save. And now after connecting my Google Sheets account with my Pabbly Connects workflow, I'm just going to select the spreadsheet right over here, which is podcast script generator. I'm just going to select the sheet, and now is asking me for the range. So it is saying enter the range of the sheet that needs to be updated here. So over here you can see the range which needs to be updated is D4. So I'm simply going to enter D4 right over here. But right now it is D4, but will every new response it is going to change. It will be D5, 6, 7, 8 and so on. But you must be noticing that this D is constant. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to keep this D as static, but I'm just going to map the row index because the row is changing. And I'm just going to map the value, which is the web view link we have received from the response. icons of a Google Drive and click on this save and send test request. And once I'm just going to click on this save and send test request, yes, you can see the document link has been added right over here in my spreadsheet. And over here, you can see the full podcast script which has been added. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed our workflow. And now what is going to happen is that as soon as I enter the episode title, guest name, and the key topics within seconds and in real time, the generated script will be added right over here. We don't have to come back and again do a workflow to click on save and send test request. Like I showed you in the starting of this video, all of this is going to happen in backend and you can just sit back and relax. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed our workflow and this video too. Now go try this amazing automation for your own business. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.